to use and have available to them specific professional development created and geared toward their individual needs. One of the things that we heard consistently was there was a lot of wasted money in professional development. That everybody had these, that professional development was not tailored to be individual teachers to help them improve their learning capabilities and their teaching capabilities. Listen, teachers are hungry for the tools to help them improve as teachers. And we think that this, with a highly qualified and effective teacher requirement, and with the new emphasis on professional development, will allow them to become better teachers. However, if a teacher continues to struggle after several years of these support, we can't continue to shortchange the children. And what we say is that these teachers, after 3 years of such support and additional opportunities to demonstrate their effectiveness, should not continue to teach the most disadvantaged students who need the most effective teachers. So, we also have made these recommendations not to punish, not to single out, not to blame, but simply with the idea of improving education for our children. We also heard a great deal about the effectiveness from educators that No Child Left Behind should have a greater focus on ensuring we have the very best principals. This is something that was not discussed and is not discussed in the original No Child Left Behind. We recommend that there be a creation, just like we have a highly qualified and effective teacher, that we have a requirement that you have a highly qualified and effective principal. Now, principals have tough, demanding jobs, functioning as instructional leaders, communication specialists with parents and students, and front-line managers of their workforce, their teachers. On top of all this, we ask them to ensure that our children are learning. No Child Left Behind, as I said, in its present form, does little to address the quality and effectiveness of the principals. To respond to this issue, we recommend a new focus on this principal quality in the law. We would ask all principals, but require it of Title I schools, since that's where federal money flows, to become highly effective principals. As with our focus on teacher effectiveness, we ask highly effective principals to ensure that schools produce learning gains that are comparable to similar high-achieving schools. We recognize that this focus on principle is a completely new direction for No Child Left Behind. However, we feel it is critical that we begin the conversation around ensuring all of the core instructional staff in our buildings, both teachers and principals, are effective. In addition to improving teacher and principal effectiveness, it is clear that we are simply not setting expectations for our children on a level that ensures they are ready for college and the workforce. We presently have over 50 different state standards with 50 different sets of expectations for what our children should learn and how much of this knowledge they must demonstrate in order to be considered proficient. Too many states have appeared on list of their own criterion test, that is their own state test, as being very proficient. My home state of Georgia is one. 87 on the criterion test, the state test, 87%. Fourth graders generally are considered proficient, but on NAEP, the National Assessment of Educational Progress, only about 37%. That is not informing parents of the true nature of the way education is being delivered to their children.
I'm Thomas Y. Hobart Jr. I'm the President Emeritus of the 540,000 member New York State United Teachers. That means I'm retired. This is the beginning of a process. It's very impressive that the 4 leaders would come here, and even more impressive that the 4 leaders would let us use this room. And we had a good turnout of people, so it's something that is going to be going to start a process that's important. Now, whether there is going to be an amendment to this act before there's a new president or not is a question that still has to be answered. But we're starting along the process. The unions will, I'm sure, have an opinion on this. School boards associations will want their opinion heard. So will the superintendents and administrators that we have. So it's the start of a process, and we got in there first.
Would you say that the group was fairly representative of all the stakeholders there?
Yeah, well, it's very difficult on a commission. To really break this down, you'd need 100 or 200 people. If you had that many people, then you're not going to have a deliberative body. So it was 15 people that represented a number of segments of our society, and yeah, I think it was as representative as you could make a deliberative body.
Now there's probably with the AFT and the NEA, they're going to have their own concerns about teacher quality and what that means for the working conditions of teachers. Teachers are really under a lot of pressure already. How do you feel about that? Did the commission look at any of those issues?
Well, they did. The first 2 recommendations are on highly effective teachers and highly effective principals. I think they're unevenly dealt with because it's unfair not only to teachers but the kids. I mean, we're trying to attract teachers to go into the urban areas, and the more difficult you make for them to succeed, the less you're going to have going in. Because why would you want to get a black mark on your record for going in? And who said the 25th percentile, which is what you have to meet over 3 years, or else you can't teach at the Title I schools anymore? Who says it's the 25th percentile? Maybe we should have chose the 50th percentile, or maybe the 15th percentile. It's an arbitrary number. And I could maybe have done very great work in the school and brought the children up to the 24th percentile, and the next year they will soar because of my work, but I won't get any credit for it. In fact, I'll get a demerit because I didn't make the 25th percentile. So I think the unions are going to fight that very hard. And as I said, it's unfair to the children because we want good teachers to want to go into the urban areas.
Do you have any other thing to say about the process? It seems like this group seemed to think that they want to get it reauthorized soon, but there's a lot of folks that feel like, well, yeah, this just might be part of the beginning, and it might take longer. Or what do you think?
Well, you're between a rock and a hard place. They might not want to reauthorize this before there's a new president, but the process, excuse me, the process has started, and if you're not here at the start of the process, you're not going to be heard at all. So, yeah, there's going to be a big push to try to get this reauthorized under this president. This president has said that if there's changes that he don't like, he would veto it. So we've got that hurdle to overcome. But the process is starting, and I think that's good. I am very much in favor of the representative democracy that we live in America. A lot of people will be weighing in, and I think we will get some good changes to the act.